BBB Sharing. This is going to be a quick segment. We're going to do this in 6 to 8 minutes. It's hard to do with Barry Moore, but my guest and my expert in the room is the Attorney General for the Commonwealth of Virginia, Jason Miyares, and he is a walking encyclopedia. You're too young to know what an encyclopedia is, but my generation, you probably use Google and AI, but you have such a depth of knowledge, and you have to with your role, so thank you. But I'm not sure that everybody does in your job role around the country, but you do, and I followed your career enough, and we work enough together with your staff. I want to talk about the legal rights and the responsibilities for the person coming out of a recovery program. They did time in a jail, they got out, and now they want to get a job. And then that employer, what are the risks they're taking on? So I'm just going to let you talk.
Well, I will say this. I like to say as the Attorney General, I'm a people's protector. I believe in public safety and work closely with law enforcement. And some people like to say I'm a law and order guy. Yes, I am. I believe in protecting the community. However, I also am a big believer that when you have paid your debt to society, it is good policy to make sure that you become a returning citizen. And instead of being tempted into going back to a life of crime, you get back on your 2 feet, right? And so that is something that we've kind of developed was I would go to prisons. I went to Wallens Ridge, went to Red Onion, went to St. Bride's, and I would meet with prisoners. And it was always kind of an interesting moment, Barry, because some of them thought they were trouble, right? The Attorney General of Virginia wants to meet with you. Right. But I would just get in a small setting with these inmates, and I would just ask them this question: tell me your story. And each one was different. Some of them came from incredibly difficult backgrounds. But then I asked them, you're on the path to becoming a returning citizen. What are your dreams and aspirations? What are your fears? And so many of them shared that their biggest fear was not able to find work. As one gentleman told me, when I was young and stupid, I did young and stupid things. And I don't have a relationship with my kids. I want to. I was a boy. I'm ready to be a man. I need to work. But who will hire me? At the same time, I was hearing from employers, we can't find workers. Right? It's hearing this everywhere I went.
You got a whole workforce.
So we came up with the idea of returning citizen job fairs, worked with the Department of Corrections and the Urban League, actually doing our second annual one in Norfolk, Calvary Revival. But we had Newport News Shipbuilding, Goodwill, Walmart, all these individuals, these employers looking for employees. We bring people in, they can get information, and it's really a remarkable moment, right? And it's smart policy for us as employers, or as for the Commonwealth, for employers to be hiring them, dignity in work, mental health benefit. They can now start providing for themselves, hopefully their family as well. Get them on that path to being a good citizen. We're very proud of the fact that Virginia has one of the lowest recidivism rates in the country, less than 19%. Mm-hmm. But we want that even lower. And I think getting them on the path to workforce development, being part of that, the employers are happy. They're able to find employees. Obviously, these individuals that want to find work are able to find work. It's really important work that we're doing.
It's interesting. You're an attorney general. You're well known not in the Commonwealth, in the country. I pay attention to a lot of things, but you have, again, you're not just talking about the legal, the victimization. Now you're talking about business owners finding employees, right? And then you're talking about the human being trying to get a job. So you're well versed, and I agree. And back 10 years ago, maybe at the Richmond City Jail, CNN came in, did the father-daughter dance story. Lisa Lane came, spent a week in Richmond City Jail Justice Center, and they did a story. And I went down there, and I was sitting there with some of the people being released, and Aziz Scott was sitting there. And I'll never forget C.T. Woody saying, "This is wonderful." Now, Steve Harvey had flown the guy and his family out. They're from Richmond. Flew him out to Chicago, put him on a Steve Harvey show, gave him $5,000, came back. And C.T. Woody said the worst thing this guy can do is succeed on the outside because the dealers don't want that. He was a good dealer. He always got caught, by the way. So, and this is his words, not mine, Aziz. And so I created a job for him at the dealership and bought him clothes and bought him furniture and got him through Caritas. It was a great story. I was so proud. We became great friends, right? He did 24 years. He started in New York. He's my age. Started in New York, was in 24 institutions. That's a lot of hotels, right, on the government. So he was staying in one jail after the other. And I asked him one day, why did you do so much time? He goes, Barry, I'm a great dealer. I make great product, but I use my product. And good dealers don't use their product.
Gosh.
So he kept getting caught. And I say that because I was one of the employers that stepped up, and I talked to the chambers and Encorepreneur. A lot of the business people heard me. And again, we won't get into parties, but I'm the party of supposedly, I don't care about anybody, right? I'm too conservative. But actually, it has nothing to do with a party, red or blue. It's got to do with being a human being. And Aziz was a great employee. Unfortunately, he went back to it. But the one thing he did say, talking to one of my employees' sons, who was a wise guy, who was going to go to jail in Henrico County the day he turned 18, he said, let me tell you something, what I do. I go under the counter, and you can learn this at the DA. I go to Roto-Rooter. I go to embalming fluid. I don't even know what other chemicals. I make the best product. And when you almost die, my prices go up. If you do go to a coma, my prices go up. If you die, my prices go off the charts, and I got to make more. And when I heard that, and everybody would say, "You're really making that up." No, I'm not.
No, they don't.
And I want parents and kids to have these discussions. Come into the BBB, come into the HARP programs or whatever's around the state, and really have these conversations. So, anyway, I think we need to find our workforce in different ways. And if I could say one more story, I hired somebody back. I hired about 10 people getting their life back, and one was a what do you call it? Child predator, sexual predator. I hired him in a body shop, and he was from California. His two parents were gang members. They went to federal prisons. One was killed in prison. The other one was going to serve a life sentence. His sister got him out of California and got him here, tried to save this kid's life. And so he's a sexual predator because he was 18 or maybe 18 and a half and had a child with a 16-year-old. And so that stigma stays with him, that title. But I will tell you what the state had in place then. The state police would visit, make sure he disclosed this to me. Every month visited me in plain clothes. Nobody knew but me and the employee. And he was a great employee. So there's always a way to find a good employee if you know what you're looking for, and these skills that these people offer are great. Anything else you want to add to that with the workforce development? My liability as a business owner?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think every business owner, I don't care who the employee is, needs to make sure that they are creating an environment of mutual respect and safety. If you have hired somebody that has a criminal past, but you start seeing them exhibiting patterns, behaviors, and actions, then you have to think real closely if he's now become a detriment to the team, and also raise your own legal liability exposure. Correct. So that is the challenge. But it also, I think you probably recognize that if you can find those that are on that path to straight and narrow and want to work, they're going to work twice as hard for you too.
They are. They want to shine. Yeah. So anybody listening and anybody out there, I'm the person to actually call and find out as an employer what it was like. And I could work you through every part of it. But thank you very much for your time. Great segment. And I appreciate everybody listening to BBB Sharing. And be sure to check out bbb.org so you can try to protect yourself up front, because afterwards, there's not much piecing yourself back together. You lose money, chances are you lost the money.